What is up, guys? Zane from PlaybookGG, and in this video we're going to tell you the settings that pros and competitive players alike use when playing Madden 19. Before we dive into this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the great tutorials that we've got headed your way here on the PlaybookGG YouTube channel. When you first get into Madden 19, you are probably interested in learning what settings you should leave on and which settings you should keep off. So when we're talking about the way that competitive Madden players practice this game and try to lock in to become some of the best players in the world, it starts with the skill level. Now, when you play your standard head-to-head online with regular teams or your regular MUT unlimited type of team, those are going to be playing on all pro. But if you're looking to take your game to the next level, all the competitive Madden Championship series are played on the all Madden difficulty. There are going to be some slider differences between all pro and all Madden, such as ratings thresholds, things like spin move. You don't require as high a rating to pull off a good spin move animation on all Madden. Those are the small differences in the actual difficulties of the game mode, as well as reactivity of defensive backs, pass rush being amped up a little bit. Those are things that are done under the hood, but your competitive series events will be played on all Madden. Now, as far as your gameplay helpers, that is probably why most of you are here. You will be leaving your game speed on normal. That is where your head-to-head is played, normal speed. Now, the auto-flip defensive play call, this is probably the question that we most receive when we are taking questions about settings for Madden 19. Autoflip has its pros and cons. On the pro side, you're talking about your defense always being aligned correctly to the offensive formation. So if the offense has two tight ends to the right side of the field, whatever defense you call will take that into account and flip or unflip automatically for you to make sure that you have the correct number of defenders in the correct spots on the field based off of whatever coverage you or blitz that you called on a given play. Cons, on the other hand, involve if you run a particular blitz and it only works flipped or unflipped, there's a good chance that with the auto flip, depending on what your opponent calls on offense, that it may flip your blitz so that it doesn't work coming off one side. Maybe it's just a left-sided blitz that doesn't work off the right side. And if it auto flips it to the other side, you may have less success with your blitz calls. So typically speaking, I like to use auto flip if I'm dropping coverage, and I like to use no auto flip if I have a specific blitz that I'm looking to bring on a particular down. Now, the good news is we'll get back to that. This is a coach setting that you can toggle on and off without having to go into your start menu. The rest of the gameplay helpers, on the other hand, are things that you need to handle before you go into a game. And as we all know, in Madden 19, there is a bug where sometimes these settings will get changed on or off against your will. So this is something that you always need to keep an eye on. There is not a fix currently for this. Our best recommendation is check your settings before every single game you play. I know that that's not a great bit of advice. It probably comes a little bit frustrating to you, but this is something that you definitely need to keep an eye on. Auto strafe. This is something that without a shadow of a doubt you need to turn off. On defense, the computer will decide when the user control player will strafe. This is really bad when it comes to trying to play coverage and also trying to track down a ball carrier on a lot of outside runs. So say, for instance, your opponent wants to throw a ball to the short outside and you want to jump that route in the flat. A lot of times in this game, auto strafe will kick in so that your player doesn't basically run out of a spot of the field that the computer thinks you should be in. Now, the computer doesn't have the same mindset that you do as a user. It doesn't know when you want to sprint and try to pick off a throw that might be outside of your zone responsibility. Maybe you've keyed in on your opponent's tendencies and you want to go out of your range and make a play on your own. A lot of times auto strafe, in particular in the flat, will kick on and kind of make it look like your player is going to run into an invisible wall, and then he'll just kind of strafe up and stand right in front of the guy as he makes a catch rather than being able to play a catch animation on the ball. So this is one that you're definitely going to leave off. The next one is one that every single Madden player that I personally talk to and know in the competitive scene and the pro circuit leaves on, and that is defensive ball hawk. User-controlled players will auto move into position to play an optimal catch animation when you play the ball while it's in the air. So you guys all know that the game is about playing a swat, playing a catch on ball, or playing the receiver, which is designed to jar the ball loose from the receiver after he gets his hands on it. The defensive ball hawk will allow you to play a catch animation, an optimal catch animation, high pointing the ball with the receiver if you leave this on. So this will trigger when you press Y and hold Y when the ball is in the air. It will take you into a good spot on the path that you are running, allowing you to play the best possible high point animation on the ball from where you are at. It does not take control of the direction that you are running. It will just give you the best possible animation on the line that you were currently running when you input the catch animation. Defensive Heatseeker assist and defensive switch assist go along the same lines as the defensive auto strafe. These are two settings that you should leave off, as both of them will take control of your user defender and take a step in a direction that otherwise you probably wouldn't want to go. Heatseeker assist will steer your user player towards a ball carrier when you're attempting to maybe cut him off on the sideline. Maybe you don't have the angle, you think you're going to get beat, so you decide to pursue and meet him downfield. Sometimes defensive Heatseeker assist will kick in and cause your player to get behind that player and chase him from behind rather than cutting him off. This is something that if you leave it on, you will notice very quickly, and I can almost assure you, you will turn this off. Defensive switch assist. This is another setting that, again, you do not want on. When you click onto a new player, the computer will control him for the first step or two to make sure that you do not do something that the game thinks you shouldn't. But what you're going to find out as you get better at the game is there are angles that you need to take to get animations that you want to get, whether it's a tackle or a catch animation or a hit stick. And sometimes defensive switch assist will not allow you to get into those positions. Now, those are your gameplay helpers, and you will only want to mostly play with ball hawk on, and you will probably toggle between defensive play call auto flip. If you like this video, check out one of the videos on your screen right now. And for more in-depth analysis, visit www.playbookgg for detailed game plans written by pro Madden players. Master the game with PlaybookGG.